It's always been a painful thorn, this inner voice that kept me torn, has pushed me down, has killed my peace. But now's the time for sweet release. I'm going all in, going all the way, till freedom shines within me. I'm going all in, giving into divine, till freedom's mine. I'm going all in. There's always been a clearer flow, the higher choice that lets me know, that fills my well, opens my eyes. These are all the reasons why I'm going all in, going all the way, till freedom shines within me. I'm going all in, giving into divine, till freedom's mine. Self-doubt and loneliness have no place in my wilderness. I fit into my skin just fine. So before I run out of time, I'm going all in, going all the way, till freedom shines within me. I'm going all in, giving into divine, till freedom's mine. I'm going all in, going all the way, till freedom shines within me. I'm going all in, giving into divine, till freedom's mine. I'm going all in. I'm going all
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know, if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Love is Greater Than Fear Spiritual Center. I am Reverend Derek, and I'm so excited for the opportunity to have another Sunday morning with you. Hope you appreciate the Arizona view behind me. So this morning, we're going to be talking about miracles and purpose as the second part in our series on the meaning of miracles. If you didn't watch last week, you might want to go back and check out that video. It's on YouTube and on Facebook. Last week, we talked about the meaning of miracles and how we can create a miracle in our life. So I walked you through a 5-step process to help you shift your thinking from fear to love, thus creating a miracle both and first in your mind and in your outer world. Today, we're going to explore that conversation and deepen into the conversation on miracles by talking about miracles and purpose. Now, before we get into that, for anybody who may be new, I want to tell you just a little bit about the Love is Greater Than Fear Spiritual Center. We are a virtual spiritual center. We do Sunday talks and meditations every Sunday. These talks and meditations are based on universal spiritual principles. So you don't need to be of any specific religious orientation or background. It doesn't matter. What we talk about here every Sunday is universal spiritual principles that can be found in all religions and all faith traditions. The vision for our center is to be a spiritual place for personal and planetary awakening. Whoops, missed a slide. Now, who is welcome here? Our community is for all of God's children, regardless of your gender, your race, your sexual orientation, your nationality, religious background, so on and so forth. It does not matter your seeming difference. We believe that everyone is a child of God, and we believe in love and equality for everyone. Some of our pillars of belief here at our center is number one, we reject the idea that there is only one path to God. We celebrate every life. We believe we are stronger together. We believe prayer and meditation can transform any life. And we believe that love is greater than fear. Will you please join with me in our morning spiritual declaration? Let's say this together. I surrender this day to God, that he may lead me to deeper peace, greater love, and fuller life expression. I surrender all my fears and desires to him. I ask that he show me the path from fear to love. Amen. All right. So, super excited for the opportunity to continue the conversation this morning. Before we get into our talk, we're going to have a morning a prayer, okay? So if you feel comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. Let us take a nice deep breath together. And so, dear God, we invite you into our minds and into our hearts, into our life this morning. We ask that you be with us. We ask that you help us to be more aware of your love, of your peace, your purpose. Dear God, I bless everyone who is watching this morning, that whatever they need to hear, whatever aha they need, whatever revelation they need from this morning's talk, that they experience that. I bless and honor everyone watching right where they are on their spiritual path, knowing that that is the perfect place for them to be right now. And dear God, I take a moment to bless everyone who is worshiping you this morning, whether they do so at a mosque or a temple, at home, at a church, whatever it might be. Just bless and honor them right where they are on their path. And dear God, I also ask that you bless our country this morning. Today is the anniversary of September 11th, and I ask that you shower anyone who lost someone during that event with peace and comfort this morning. We ask that you are near them. during what might be an emotional day for them. And on top of that, dear God, I ask that you bless our country. There's a lot going on in the world and in our country today, and I ask that you bring everyone love, peace, joy, and comfort. And together we say, Amen. So, good morning. Good morning. Super excited. I think I already said that, to continue the conversation this morning. So, today we're talking about purpose and miracles. I'm going to start by reading from lesson 154 in A Course in Miracles, called I Am Among the Ministers of God. This is one of my favorite lessons in the workbook because it gets really clear with us that everyone's role on the planet is to be a minister of God. That is not to say that everyone needs to go into the training and become a minister and start a church, but it means that in your own life, your role, your function, your purpose is to be about your Father's business, which means to be about love. So it says here in lesson 154, I'm just going to read some of it. Let us today be neither arrogant nor falsely humble. We have gone beyond such foolishness. We cannot judge ourselves, nor need we do so. These are but attempts to hold decision off and to delay commitment to our function. It is not our part to judge our worth, nor can we know what role is best for us. What we can do within a larger plan, we cannot see in its entirety. Our part is cast in heaven, not in hell, and what we think is weakness cannot be strength. Or excuse me, I said that wrong. And what we think is weakness can be strength. What we believe to be our strength is often arrogance. Whatever your appointed role may be, it was selected by the voice for God, whose function is to speak for you as well, seeing your strengths exactly as they are, and equally aware of where they can be best applied, for what, to whom, and when. He chooses and accepts your part for you. He does not work without your own consent, but he is not deceived in what you are and listens only to his voice in you. So there's a lot there. I want to go back to the part where it says, we cannot judge ourselves, nor need we do so. Those are but attempts to hold decision off and to delay commitment to our function. It is not our part to judge our worth, nor can we know what role is best for us. We cannot know what role is best for us. So let's talk about what purpose has to do with this. Instead of using the word purpose throughout A Course in Miracles, it uses the word function. What your role here on this planet is very simple: to remember who you are and to remember why you are here. The most powerful thing and the most powerful place you can be in any given moment is a place where you are remembering who you are and why you are here. You are love, and you are here to love. That is the cornerstone of A Course in Miracles. That's it. That's your purpose. You know, in our culture, we have a tendency to, I guess I could just speak for myself. You know, for a long time in my life, I was like, what is my purpose? I kept looking for my purpose and what am I meant to be? And in my mind, my purpose was a job or a career. That was it. My purpose is some job, some career, some outside thing. I remember years ago, about 10 years ago, I was in between jobs and I was looking for a new job. And I just had this anxiety of, you know, I didn't want to go back to customer service or some of the things I'd done in the past. And I remember telling my life coach in a conversation, I was like, yeah, it's just that, you know, I need my purpose. I'm trying to figure out what my purpose is. And that's what I want to go work. And that's what I want to go do. And she checked me in that moment. She said, Derek, we've been working together too long for you to think that your purpose is something outside of yourself. Your purpose is only ever to remember that you are love and to be love in any given moment. And she said that to me, and I was like, yeah, okay, but what is that in a job? I need a job. I need to make money. What does that mean for that situation? And she's like, you're just not getting it. And I really struggled with this for a while. But I decided to take what she was saying to me and just apply it to my life. And so as I went on some job interviews, I just remembered who I was and why I was there. I kind of like, I would go into the job interview without that an ego energy, without the like, oh, I need this job. I'm so desperate for this job. Because, you know, if you've ever been in a job interview and done that, you know, it doesn't always work out for you to have that kind of energy. So I went into these like, you know, hey, I may or may not get this job. This may or may not be the right job for me. I have no way of knowing. But my purpose here is to focus on being loved right here with this person who's interviewing me. We're going to have time together today. I'm going to be loving. I'm going to be kind. I'm going to make a good heart contact with this person. This may or may not be the right job for me, but I'm just going to show up, remember who I am and why I'm here, because that is my purpose. And I know based off spiritual principles, if I can get that purpose down, then the outer purpose, however that reflects as a job or a career, is going to show up. So I went on some job interviews and I found this job. Gosh, I must have been like early 20s, early mid 20s. And I found this job I really wanted at doing spiritual stuff at a bookstore and just doing spiritual things that I wanted to do, connecting with spiritual people. I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. And I went in and I had a great interview, had a great time with the people there at this bookstore. And I was like, this is the right place, the right time. Everything just feels right about this. A couple days later, I get a call letting them know that they just didn't think it was the right job for me. And I remember just like being so bummed out because it felt right. When I was there, it was the perfect place, the perfect time, the perfect people. Everything about it just felt right. And I remember afterwards just being so confused why I didn't get the job. So I just went back about my normal interview process, kept interviewing at all these different jobs. None of them were really like the type of like spiritual job I was looking for. I was really looking for something to utilize my talents and skills. And I just kept looking. I kept showing up at the interviews, doing my best, being loved, remembering who I am, being kind, being empathetic, just doing everything the best I could, listening to the voice for God when it told me, apply here, go there, be here, say this, say that, just totally in tune. A couple weeks later, I get a call from the people that owned that bookstore saying, hey, you remember us? And I'm like, oh, okay. They realized they got this wrong because I'm supposed to be working here. I was at the right place at the right time. And I was like, okay, this is so cool. I'm so excited. And they're like, hey, someone came into our bookstore recently and they were looking for someone to hire. And we were just instantly thought of you, thought, wow, this would be the perfect thing for Derek. This is why we didn't hire Derek, is because there was something else better out there for him. And they start telling me about this opportunity with this woman. She was a spiritual filmmaker. She was a spiritual teacher and what she was looking for. And I'm like, yes, yes, yes. And they're like, do you mind if we give her your resume? And I'm like, absolutely. So they forwarded over my resume to her, gave her my contact information. She called me, and then I started working for this spiritual filmmaker, and it was incredible. Worked for her for a year. If you're not familiar with the film Sacred Journey of the Heart, that's the film that she created. Now, what was exciting about this, when I showed up to that other interview, I was in the right place. I was mentally, emotionally, spiritually at the right place. That didn't mean that was the right job for me. That just meant in that moment, something else was happening and I was being redirected and reconnected to this other job opportunity. And I share that story with you because it's really easy to forget that we can't see the future. So whatever challenge you're having in your life right now, if you are someone who's looking for a new job, you can't see tomorrow. You can't see next week. You don't have the broader perspective that God has of your life, which is why we cannot rely on our own wisdom and our own strength and our own being. We can't rely on that because we simply don't have the broader perspective that God has. And so that story always reminds me when I get a little bit off my game to go back to who am I and why am I here? Who am I? Why am I here? And then there's the prayer from A Course in Miracles. Dear God, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say? And to whom? In order for God to fulfill his function, which is the awakening of mankind, the shifting of perception from fear to love, in order for God to achieve that goal of our awakening and of our collective enlightenment, God needs your hands, your feet, your voice, your talents, your skills. God needs all of that to achieve that goal. Now, what's interesting about this, when we're looking for our purpose in the world, usually what that means is that we're looking for something that makes us special and unique. And remember, the Course reminds us that the desire to feel special is very much an ego-driven thing. I need to be special. I need to be better than someone at something, right? That's usually what that means when I'm looking for a purpose. I'm looking for a way to stand out. And what's interesting about this is that in order to find our true purpose, we got to step back to what actually is not unique about us at all. And that is that we are all children of God. That at our very core, you and I are the loving creations of God. And we share that all in common. All of us who've ever lived and all of us who ever will live are all the sons of God. But in our life and in our world, it's easy to get really distracted. It's really get distracted from that purpose and from remembering that. And that's what the ego's goal is. The ego is, how can I make this person forget who they are today? And some of the ways the ego makes you forget who you are is getting up in the morning saying you don't have time to meditate or pray or to read some spiritual books. It might have you go get a cup of coffee, read the news, scroll through social media. You know, I love it when somebody says, I don't have time to meditate. And I'm like, well, how much time do you spend on TikTok every day? You don't have time to meditate because we're so distracted by the world around us. And all of those distractions, and some of them seem small, some of them seem big, are just that. They are distractions. It's like if you get up every morning and you take a big drink of worldly problems, you're going to forget who you are that day. You won't say the right thing in the sales meeting. You won't say the right thing to your loved ones. You won't have the creative idea for your artistic project. But if you get up every morning and you have a big glass of spiritual truth, and that's what you drink up, and you remember, and you get, it's not just remembering, it's getting really, really clear with yourself about who you are and why you're here at the spiritual level, that will completely transform your day. So let's talk about the two differences here. So let's say I go with the ego stuff and I wake up in the morning and I go to the news. I start going through social media, I start checking my emails, doing whatever it is that it might be. And I'm taking in all of that ego stuff and I'm allowing the gravity of fear to pull me down throughout the day. And let's say I'm somebody who's looking for a job opportunity. Well, that means instantly being pulled into the world of ego. I'm not going to be on my game in any job interview. I'm not going to hear the voice for God when it says that's the right job or that's not the job. I'm going to ignore the phone call from a friend who has a job in mind for me or from someone who wants to hire me for something. Or let's say you're in sales and you have sales meetings that day. If I wake up in the morning and I feel competitive, I feel ego stuff, if I feel whatever it might be, whatever that fear is like for that day for me, I'm going to go into sales meetings and sales conversations trying to get something. And when you go into those sales meetings trying to get something, you get the opposite. You get nothing, right? People feel that. Let's say you have a health issue and you wake up and you do that same thing, right? You go through social media, maybe you take your pills and you're just afraid of what's going on in your body and you just go through the day. That gravity of fear pulls you down. And if you have a health issue, that gravity of fear only complicates that health issue because when you're sick, you need to be relaxed. You need to be calm. You need to allow the body to heal itself naturally. And also, when you're in that state of panic, you might forget to take your medicine. You might not, just have the positive mindset for seeking alternative medicines, whatever it might be for you. The solutions just don't come as easily when you're stuck in all that fear and all that panic. Our other choice and our spiritual option is to wake up in the morning, sit in meditation and prayer, get really, really clear about who we are and why we're here. We are love and we're here to love. And we say that prayer I just said a moment ago: Dear God, where would you have me go? Who would you have me be? What would you have me say, and to whom? We say that prayer. Let God use our hands and feet and our mouth throughout that day, and our creativity, all of our natural skills, right, throughout that day. Now, that means for the person who's looking for a job, that they walk into interviews and people just like them, just naturally like them. You can go into a job interview, and I've been this person, shown up and not had all the skills they were looking for, but they just really liked me. There was just something about me. They just liked me, and I got the job, and someone who had a better resume did not. That's the beauty of prayer and meditation, because you get to connect with people on a deeper level. And also, you're listening to God. So when God says that's not the job for you, or this is the job for you, then you're more attentive to that. And that's going to help you find whatever your purpose might be in the physical world. Same thing if you're having a health issue or relationship challenge. If you've gotten up and you've meditated and you prayed, you're going to hear, oh, this doctor is the right doctor for you. This is the right medication for you. Read this book on health right here. Talk to this person who had that same problem as well. Or you're having a relationship challenge and a relationship book pops up for you. A solution just comes. As I mentioned last week, I was talking about how in nature, wherever there is a poisonous plant within a mile radius, there is usually an antidote for it. And it's the same thing in our lives right here. Whatever these problems are that we have in our immediate vicinity, we can change them because the solution is always there. But if I wake up thinking about the poison, then it's going to be really hard for me to find the solution. If I wake up thinking there is a solution, then I'm more likely to find a solution. So we have this choice every morning. I get up and I fall in alignment with my deeper, truer purpose, or I don't. And my life will reflect that. It's really interesting to me. I'm really into goal setting. I love that. And whenever I read an article about goal setting, it breaks up your life into 5 to 8 different categories. So it'll have like your health right here, your relationships right here, your money right here, or maybe it'll be a pyramid, and it'll have your emotions. And usually the last thing on that list is your spiritual life. And this is such a tricky thing we do in our culture. We think that, okay, my spiritual life is this thing over here that maybe I just do on Sundays. My health is this thing over here. My relationships are this thing over here, so on and so forth. Now, the tricky thing about all of that is it's actually all interconnected with your spiritual life. Your spiritual life is the heart of your life. If you have a relationship problem, if you have a health problem, if you have a career problem, if you have a financial problem, the answer is going to be found in your spiritual life. When we remember who we are and why we are here, we become magnets for good. That's when you remember who you are, why you're here. The answer for the health challenge comes immediately running to you. The right partner comes immediately to you. The right solution for any relationship challenge appears. Suddenly you're forgiving of people. Suddenly you find people very forgiving of you. The right career for you will show up. The right, whatever it is you need for your experience comes running to you the moment you remember who you are and why you are here. Because when you remember those two things, you are fulfilling your function. So when you're at the grocery store today and you're, getting your groceries, um, in that moment, you're right where you're supposed to be. And your function in that moment is to be love, is to treat that cashier with kindness, to treat that cashier with love, to bless all the people that you walk by in the grocery store. That's you being on purpose. When you are in a sales meeting or any type of meeting, in fact, before you even go into that meeting, what I like to do is send my love to everyone I'm going to see that day and everyone in that sales meeting. I send them my love. I send them peace. I share my faith with them. Now, obviously, I don't say this to them when they get to the sales meeting, right? I definitely don't say that to them. This is all an internal conversation I'm having with myself before the sales meeting. Same thing is true for job interviews. You send them your love. You be at peace with yourself and you send them that peace. Whatever situation you're in, you're going out to dinner with your family tonight, send them your love, send them your peace. Show up, and despite what's going on with your family, know that you are all children of God and that you are all perfection. Again, remembering who we are and why we're here. This is what's going to help you to live a miraculous life and to live more on purpose. And if you are a person who feels that they are looking for some type of purpose as a career, well, living this way will guide you there. It will direct you there. It will bring whatever it's supposed to be will all just fall into place for you if you just start right there. As you go through your week, this next week, I would suggest that you say the prayer from A Course in Miracles. I'll post it on here later, which is, Dear God, where would you have me go? Who would you have me be? What would you have me say? And to whom? Take that prayer with you all day, every day, and you will find that just suddenly you're in the right place at the right time, doing the right things, and life begins to feel very, very miraculous for you. So I invite you to take that into your next week. And, when I didn't grow up in a religious household. And I always thought the idea of I can do all things through Christ, the idea of I can't rely on my own wisdom. To me, that felt like saying that I was nothing. I did not like religion and a lot of spirituality in the beginning because I thought that, what did I think? I didn't want to rely on something else. It seems like to me at the time that God was some kind of crutch. Jesus was some kind of crutch for people who didn't believe in themselves. And I thought that way for a long time until one day I got myself into so much trouble that I couldn't get myself out of this trouble. I remember I went through just an experience. I have talked here before about with drug addiction. I went through that experience, and one day I woke up and I was like, wow, my best thinking got me here. My best thinking, my own personal wisdom, my most intelligent moments, the best of what I am as a self with a lowercase s. This is what they created. This is crazy. And I remember that day realizing why it's so important to lean on God, lean on Jesus, lean on Buddha, Muhammad, whatever your faith tradition is, to lean on that, because God, by whatever name you know him, has a perspective that you and I do not. You and I tend to focus on the past and the future. Thus, we're never in the present moment, right? And that's where our power is in the present moment. But we tend to focus on the past and the future. But God has a broader perspective. God sees where you are right now. He sees you for your flaws. He sees you for how awesome you are, your talents, your skills. And then he also sees next week, the next week after, and your ultimate journey from fear to love, your ultimate journey from awakening. And every moment that you make a mistake, God is course correcting all of that for you. It's the perspective of God and his universe that we lack, which is why we cannot rely upon ourselves alone. What we can rely upon is God and his infinite wisdom and his infinite intelligence and what he knows about you and how he knows to organize the perfect people at the perfect places at the perfect times for this entire planet. Think about it. We're literally on a tiny rock floating around a ball of fire at the perfect speed, at the perfect axis, with the perfect ingredients for life, all of that in complete perfection, going around the sun. Everything that we need for life on Earth is here. Interesting thing is, like, there's actually no food shortage on the Earth. We have all the food we could possibly need to feed the 7 billion plus people. There's just a shortage of people willing to get that food to the right people, but there is no actual shortage of food, of water, of sunshine, of all the things that we need to live a prosperous and abundant life. And so just as God is wise enough and intelligent enough to organize all of that, he can also organize your life. He can deliver the perfect relationship to you. He can deliver the perfect manuscript to you. If you're an author, or if you're a filmmaker, he can deliver the perfect script. If you're a hairstylist, he can deliver the perfect source of clients. If you are a salesperson, he can deliver the best product to sell and the best people to sell it to. It doesn't matter who you are or what you're doing. If you can remember who you are and why you're here, and allow God to use your hands, to use your feet, to use your voice and your talents and skills to every day and every morning wake up and say, "Dear God, use me," then all of that stuff will just show up. So we're going to go into our meditation and prayer now. And our meditation and prayer is so important because a good meditation and a good prayer means that your mind is going to align with what's true about you. And during a good meditation, the result is that the ego stuff gets burnt off, maybe just a little bit. You might just have a small shift in perception after this meditation, but even a small shift in perception can create huge results for you in your life. So, and then I want to add to remember that prayer is the medium of miracles. So the reason we spend time in silence every morning is so we can hear the voice of God. And then we pray so that we can invite God into our mind and heart to assist us in creating whatever miracle it is we need. The miracle is always first in the mind. We talked about that last week. The miracle is first in the mind. And then when necessary, there will be a miracle in your outer life. So let's go ahead and start to close our eyes and take a couple deep breaths, always in through our nose and out through our mouth. And I invite you to really inhale deeply, feel it go down your spine as you take these 3 deep breaths. And after you've taken those 3 deep breaths, just let your breathing return to normal. And I invite you to just sit down any worries or concerns that you have this morning, any expectations you have for this meditation or for the rest of your day. Just sit it down. There's no right or wrong way to do this meditation, but we do want to keep our attention on our breathing. As our body relaxes, just let thoughts come and let them go. No need to judge them. We just imagine that the muscles around our eyes and all over our scalp are relaxing. Allow that relaxing sensation to just wash over your face, down through your shoulders, relaxing your back, relaxing your arms. Feel your stomach relax as that energy washes down your thighs and into your knees. Allowing that relaxation to extend through our hands and our toes. Allowing any outside distractions to just push us deeper into our meditation. Just continuing to relax. If you feel any tension in your body, it's a good practice to say something internally like, hey, leg, relax. You can tell your body what to do. So we're going to sit in silence for a moment. And if your mind races, if you have a lot of thoughts going on, that's fine. Just keep your attention on your breathing during this silence. Now, I invite you to call to mind a place in your life where you're not at peace, a place where you may need a miracle. Doesn't matter what it is, whatever pops up will do for this exercise. And thinking about this place where we're not at peace, I want you to consider the idea that the only thing missing in this situation is something you're not giving. The only thing missing in this situation is something that you are not giving. Everything is either a call for love or it is love. Every situation. So, this place where you're not at peace, is there an area in this where you're not giving love? And perhaps the blame here is only 10% yours, whatever your situation. But that 10% is 100% yours. There's no need for like shame or guilt here for whatever this scenario is. We're just looking for that place where we've forgotten who we are and why we're here. And if something has come to mind, I encourage you to say a prayer to God about it. Dear God, I recognize that I am not giving love in this situation. Dear God, I recognize that I've forgotten who I am. I've forgotten who the other person is. I have lost track of who I am in some way, using your own words. So we're going to take this situation wherever it is that you are not at peace in life. And this could be your finances, your health, your relationships, your lack of relationships, money, career, self-esteem, whatever it is, okay? Whatever it is, wherever this place is that you're not at peace, still having that in mind as we pray. Dear God, we recognize that wherever we are not at peace is the place where we need a miracle. And so, whatever this place is in my life and in the lives of those watching, we take this area, we take this thing, the situation, and we invite you into it, dear God. Shine the light on our role here. Shine the light on any place where we are not expressing our deepest, truest selves. Shine the light on that for us so we can see. See where we could think better, speak better, act better. See where maybe we're not being forgiving of a person, of ourself, of a situation. Show us where we might be limited in our thinking. Dear God, we invite you into this solution and we ask for your help. We ask for a miracle. We ask for that shift in perception from fear to love, and that you guide us along that process, and that the internal miracle that is needed come first and foremost, and then anything needed in the physical world that would be a part of that miracle, that we see it quickly. If that's another person, if that's money, if that's a job, if that's a healing, whatever that might be, dear God, we ask that it rush to us. And we hand the situation over to you, knowing that, unlike us, you see tomorrow, you see next week, you see next year, that you have the wisdom of the entire universe, the power of the entire universe. So we take this situation and we put it into your hands, knowing that the miracle has arrived. And we are so grateful, dear God. We're so grateful for this miracle, for this shift from fear to love. We take a nice deep breath. We take a moment and we just extend our love to one another and to anyone that you know you will encounter today and this week. Your family, your friends, coworkers, colleagues. Just take a moment and open our hearts and express that love in advance. We take a nice deep breath, and together we say, Amen. As you feel comfortable, you can begin to bring your attention back to the room. Well, I don't say after that meditation, I felt a shift in something that's been on my mind, that's been really bothering me. And I found that in that moment when we were silent, that an answer came. I was really surprised. I wasn't surprised, but I was kind of surprised that I had missed that. That's what I'm surprised about. So if you want to share a little bit about your experience in the comments, please feel free to do so. Before we wrap up, you may, for anyone who feels like they could use a little extra spiritual guidance this week, just want to make sure that you're aware of all the options we have over on our website on loveisgreaterthanfear.org. We've got prayer assistance there. So if you find that you want some continued prayer over the next 30 days, be sure to let us know over there. And then we've also got a couple other resources. We've got spiritual classes and counseling. We've got miracle mindset coaching on the website. And then we also have our study group for A Course in Miracles. If you're interested in learning more about A Course, but most importantly, connecting with other people that are practicing the Course in Miracles, it's a great thing to take advantage of. It's free. It's a great group of people. So it might be something that you're interested in. You can sign up for that on the website. Don't forget to follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all those places. We need your likes, we need your comments, we need your shares. That helps us grow the center. But also, there's probably somebody on your Facebook timeline who has something they're going through today, and this might be helpful and powerful for them. So be sure to share that so that they can see. We're going to say our spiritual declaration together again. So everyone say with me, I surrender this day to God, that he may lead me to deeper peace, greater love, and fuller life expression. I surrender all my fears and desires to him. I ask that he show me the path from fear to love. Amen. So next week, September 18th, we're going to be back to continue our series on the meaning of miracles. Next week, we're going to talk about miracles and relationships. So if you got some relationship stuff going on, or if you don't, you'll want to be a part of this conversation. We're going to explore relationships as much as we can with the time that we have next Sunday, but it's going to be a great time. Now, also remember, guys, our spiritual center relies entirely on your generous donations. Your generous donations help us pay for the streaming service, host the website, and then we're also planning a Christmas service this year, an in-person Christmas service. So your donations help us in a variety of ways. Like I said, the website, the streaming service, your donations helped us with the rental of a venue. So it's really helpful for us. So if you do feel served by today's talk and you want to see this center continue to grow and expand, I encourage you to hop over to PayPal and make a donation. You can make a one-time donation, or you can set up monthly donations over at PayPal. You need to use our handle, which is @LoveIsGreaterCenter. So that's @LoveIsGreaterCenter. If you want to get more information on donations as well, you can find all of that information over on loveisgreaterthanfear.org. So you guys have been awesome. I hope you have a fabulous Sunday ahead of you, and I will see you right back here, same time next Sunday. Have a great one. Bye.